Hey guys, what's up? This is Stern. Um, Real quickly, I wanted to show you this media player. This is WinAmp. I'm sorry if the text is a little distorted because I'm using some. Well, I'm using some freeware, and sometimes it isn't perfect. But for what I need to get through here, this should accomplish it. But hopefully, you guys can see what's going on my screen. To some extent, at least with this media player. Um, one of the things I think we need to think about is a little bit of bandwidth management. If we want to get into stuff like taking calls on Skype and that sort of thing, and being able to conduct interviews from remote locations, we're going to have to get good at bandwidth management. And one of the things that's a strain on the bandwidth is streaming music from the Comcast connection. Now, the left computer right now is CCAC's connection. It's their network connection. So it's a little bit different with that. We can stream music off of that. It's really not that big of an issue. But that computer also isn't as flexible as some of the other stuff because we can't install programs on it. We really can't do much of some of the stuff we can do with the computer on the right. But that being said, we can work to get some other things installed on there, like Skype or something of that nature, where we can actually talk to people using a different connection. That's neither here nor there at this point. I'm really going to work on trying to get another desktop computer installed that's independent of the college's network and runs off of Comcast. Now, as far as our media library, the MP3 files are all over the hard drive, and also there's a bunch of them on the portable hard drive. Well, WinAmp will help us consolidate and manage that entire library. The other thing it'll help us do is that once we have two desktops in there, as well as one or more external drives, it'll allow us to access music on all the hard drives across a network. So what we can do is set up a little bit of an independent network inside the radio station between the two computers, and that way every single MP3 file that's on there is accessible on both. Now, a couple of things about this media player. On the left panel here, you'll see some of the basic stuff: the audio, video, most played, recently added, recently played, never played, and top rated. And then under here, there's playlists, which I have none here, but those can be customized, and also you can pre-program those in advance. So you can create a playlist and save it here, and then come back to it later for later use. So that's very helpful. Also, this has a couple of online services built into it. A couple of the most prominent is Shoutcast Radio. The biggest deal on Shoutcast is Alex Jones. There's also the Song of the Day, Tour Tracker, and 7 Digital Music. There's a whole lot of stuff here. So you can find new stuff from within here and you kind of do that kind of stuff. We also have a podcast directory. I'm sorry, my mouse doesn't work right sometimes. We have a podcast directory here, so we can subscribe to that kind of stuff. So we could set up some kind of podcasting system with this and then subscribe to our own thing, so we can go back and pull up old shows and recycle them. So we can set up some reruns or things of that nature, and I think that it helps solve a few problems on the left panel. Getting into some of the nuts and bolts of this thing, though, let's go back to the audio here. We have 3 different windows here, and like I said, I don't know if you can see it because I set the resolution to maximum, and hopefully you can sort of see what's going on here. But with these 3 panes here, or windows or whatever you want to call them. You have an artist window, an album window, and a track window. The upper left one is the artist window, and in there you can scroll through and look at all the different artists in here. And like I said, this is my computer that we're looking at, so we can go through and then like here's filter, and then scroll down. There's Jane's Addiction. There's some Metallica. They give you some very useful information very quickly here. Like I have Metallica highlighted. I have 13 of their albums with 141 tracks. And then on the right, all the albums are there. So we have Injustice for All, Death Magnetic, Garage Inc., Load, Master of Puppets. And then as you can see down here, what's changing is the track list for each album as I click on it. So all this updates in real time. Another useful thing about this is this search bar right here. The biggest thing is it gives you real-time results. So if we type in 1, for example, anything that has a match to the string of letters that you type in will come up. So for example, if a song had the song title had Alone in it, you would see every song with the title Alone, in addition to 1. So it's one of those things that's kind of love-hate, but the nice thing is how quickly you can sort all that out with this, because you can look in here and see, well, here's the artists. So we could look through and like here's Beastie Boys, and there's a bunch of stuff, and then you have this, and then there's like Let Me Be the One, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Van Halen. Okay, so it helps you narrow it down exactly what you're looking for without a whole lot of effort. The albums also help. Like we have one from Metallica. So it gives you real-time results very quickly, and my computer responds to it pretty fast, and it might be a little bit slower once we have 3 or 4 hard drives hooked up to this, but it'll still respond in real time. So that'll be helpful when dealing with all these MP3s. The other thing is that with the search is you can search by any given thing. So you can, if you type in an artist here, such as we could type in Lady Gaga and pull her stuff up. So this takes very little effort to do any of this. The other thing is the playlist over here on the right in this window pane here. When you pull up a song, okay, and we're just gonna do that real quick, and we'll pull up REM real quick, and you'll notice I stopped typing because it came up fast. And we can look through their albums, REM. Okay. So say I want to pull up something specific, and I know what album it's on, and we're going to look for something from Out of Time. And here we have the list of songs, and here's Losing My Religion. And all you can do is highlight it and hold down the button, drag it over, and drop it, and it's on the playlist. So it's very, very easy to work with this. Also, another thing about the playlists, here is the REM song I just loaded on there, and I have 7 items on here, but let's say that we want to play that next. Well, the song that's playing is highlighted here, and I don't know how easy that would be to see because of the distortion with the virtual webcam I'm using. But if we have a bunch of songs here that are kind of gray, and the one that's playing is white, well, you can scroll that up right underneath it, and now it's next. Or you can drag something else down below it. So you can switch all this stuff around real easily just by dragging it around. And then real quickly, when you play stuff, the information pops up on the screen. So you can see over here in the play window, the little bars moving around here that represent this right here. So you can adjust all of these different settings here. So there's some built-in equalization here. Could be extremely helpful, especially like, and I noticed this the other day, is I tried to record a dubstep song, and the bass on some of those songs is so heavy that you have to tone it down a little bit to cut out some of the distortion that comes in. So it's a nice little tool to have to clean some of that stuff up. Also, with the equalization, you can set up some presets. So you can load a preset, save a preset, and give them names and all that stuff, and you can default, you know. So there's all kinds of stuff that we can play around with that. Another thing that's nice is we have built-in crossfading right here, and you can turn it off, and this will gray out, or you can turn it on, and this turns on. And then these arrows, there's a little number here that tells you how many seconds it is. So right now I have it set at 5 seconds, but I can drop it down to 3. Or I could crank it up to 7 seconds, which is probably too long. But the point is it's built right into the media player, and we don't have to worry about it. The crossfading will be done for us automatically, and it'll sound really good. One other final thing about this, the web browser is built right into it. So we can go on here, and a couple of things are possible with this. I'm not sure if this web browser would be good for running Spreaker. If it is, then let's run Spreaker out of this, because then it'll free up the web browser for us to like do a little bit of other stuff. If not, I mean, you know, if you're running Spreaker on something else, we don't really have to look, you know, we really don't have to switch back and forth between windows. Like if you wanted to, you know, say talk about an artist on the air or something like that, you can just go on Google, pull that up, and then we can pull up information. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. On whoever. So we pull up Madonna, and then we can go and look at her Wikipedia page. And you can see that it lags a little bit. It's not as fast as something like Chrome, but it's effective, you know. So if you're broadcasting and you want to talk about a specific artist, or somebody starts talking about it, you can sit there and research while somebody else is talking. You know, so that's a very, very nice feature to have built into this. It's something that I feel that we've been missing. Is like a really solid setup. A couple other things. If you go to the options here, there's a list of preferences. I haven't really gotten involved in a whole lot of this, so we can take a look at all this stuff, and I encourage you guys to play around with different things and see what works. But there's a whole bunch of information here. With WinAmp Pro, there's a bunch of stuff we can do. So we could think about purchasing this. I know it's like 20 bucks. I don't know if we really necessarily need to do all that, because we have Audacity to do some of the things that this doesn't do as far as the recording and editing and stuff like that. This is mostly just for the purpose of playback. I know one of the other options here is you have an advanced playback option. This is nice because you can stop the track while fading out. So if you hit stop with fade out, it drops the song out, but it stops it completely. Now I'm going to restart it and start playing something else just by double clicking on it. And I could say play, advanced playback, stop after current. Now what'll happen here is if you click that, it's going to run and play the entire song, and then it's going to quit playing. So right after that it quits and it doesn't continue on the playlist, and you have to restart it. That seems like a very helpful feature in some instances. I don't know how many people will use that, but it was something I noticed that looked helpful. Also, if you like to talk and have background music playing at the same time, then I suggest that we figure out how to record instrumental music to play in the background and save it in an MP3, and then we can put it in the playlist. So that way you have some kind of time management system built right into this, because now you can sit here and just